The less we love a woman, the easier it is for us to please her. This phrase from the book Eugene Onegin is quoted by many, and I completely agree with it. Because if you spoil a woman, do everything for her, then she will stop appreciating it. And it's not about any cunning. It's a feature of human psychology, which many have heard of. But unfortunately, not everyone manages to apply this knowledge correctly in practice. So today, I'll explain in simple terms why some women start to become blatantly bold and start treating a man as if he were nothing. I will also provide recommendations on how to prevent this. I'll start with a very simple mirror principle. A person is our mirror. The way a woman treats you is the result of your behavior. By her attitude towards you, she unconsciously reflects how significant you are to her. To make it even clearer, for example, notice how you communicate with your boss? Probably, you don't argue with him unnecessarily. You listen to him. The boss has the final say. And when you talk about getting promoted or raising your salary, you look just as cute as a boy who went on a date with a girl for the first time. But this is your communication with the boss. Now, remember how you communicate with some colleague of yours. You can argue with him, tease him, and interrupt him. You can even rudely tell him off if he starts to be bold. As you can guess, your communication with the boss and with a regular colleague is very different. And it's all about the significance and status of your interlocutor. It's about how you treat the person. If we talk about why some women start to become bold, the answer is very simple. They take a man's contributions for granted, do not appreciate them, and even think that he could do more. It all starts with 3 phrases, after which you are guaranteed to be considered one of the so-called suckers by a woman. First phrase, I love you more than life. It's a very beautiful and romantic phrase, which can make a very strong impression on a woman, but only when she hears it for the first time from a beloved man. And if you constantly show a woman with words, gifts, and actions how much you love her, then she will get used to all this and take it for granted. I'll say more. If you stop giving her gifts, stop trying to impress her, then this will already cause her dissatisfaction. Because she firmly believes that every man should behave like this. And this is a property of human psychology. What we have in abundance, we do not value. And the woman thinks that since she spends time with you, dresses up, inspires you, spends her best years on you, then this is already a reward for you, and therefore you should give her gifts for it. Second phrase, I'm ready to provide for you. This is also a fairly common male mistake when you fully provide for a woman, pay for everything, and she saves her money for a makeup bag. At the first stage, such generosity on your part brings her a lot of pleasure. But then the woman starts to take it for granted. In my consultations, I heard many stories where a man paid all his girlfriend's expenses. And then, instead of gratitude, he heard the phrase, "You're the man. You should provide for me. There's nothing outstanding about it." Or, another example. I recently had a wealthy client in consultation. A woman accused him of tyranny because he refused to give her money for a business, although her previous 2 projects burned out without even starting. Therefore, if you fully provide for your woman, do not expect that she will be amazed by it. Over time, she will take it as a given. Third phrase, I'm ready to please you. If after a quarrel you always make up first, let off any of her misdeeds, be it insults, night outs, or communication with other men, then for her, this becomes the norm. And you position yourself as a nice guy who is ready to tolerate disrespectful treatment towards himself, and in quarrels act as a peacemaker, even if she is wrong. The woman will not appreciate it, because she firmly believes that everything is done correctly. She thinks that this is how a real man should behave, namely, not to limit her in anything. But when you try to forbid her something, then this will already cause a storm of indignation in the woman. She will consider you a tyrant and a domestic dictator. And this is all the result of permissiveness that you allowed. I hope you understand how greatly men are mistaken who care for a woman to the best of their ability and wait for a reciprocal gratitude. It doesn't work that way. Even a conscious woman, ready to appreciate her partner, gets used to everything and relaxes in relationships. This can even be explained in terms of the production of happiness hormones. Specifically, how dopamine is produced, I explained in the video titled, The Mechanism of Lifelong Attachment and Falling in Love. Be sure to watch. Then you will understand how this hormone affects the process of falling in love. Therefore, you do not need to try to please a woman in everything. When she lacks something, it's normal. If you give her flowers once a month, she will be happy about it. But if you do this every day, then such care will quickly bore her. Women value what is scarce and what is hard to come by. A woman may complain that she lacks your attention, but during the next date, she will feel like the happiest person. This explains the phrase, "The less we love a woman, the easier it is for us to please her." When a man's love is scarce, the woman values it. When there's too much love, she takes it for granted. Therefore, you always need to maintain a balance. And if we talk about investments, then a woman should be overfed, but at the same time, she should not be too hungry. Why a woman should not be overfed, I have already explained. Now I'll explain why she should not be underfed. Let's go back to the example with flowers. If you understand that the girl loves you, cares about you, then giving her flowers once a month is absolutely normal, because she eagerly awaits this event. If you do not take care of her at all and do not give her flowers, then at first your significance for the woman will grow, as she will strive to get even a little of your warmth and care. But over time, she will understand that her expectations were not met, and she will be disappointed in you. Therefore, in any case, you need to take care of the woman who loves and appreciates you, but in moderation. Otherwise, she will sit on your neck. But perhaps someone of you will want to write in the comments, "Yes, you can't relax in such relationships. You always have to think about some balances, and you want to be yourself." I can easily explain this. There is such a concept as compatibility. Let's say there are people who are used to caring for others, selflessly helping those around them. And there are those who are stingy with care and support. This is an individual characteristic of each person. If you are used to caring a lot about people, then you need a woman who is ready to appreciate this care and invest in return. Otherwise, if the woman is quite cold in terms of showing her attention, she will just sit on your neck, especially if she is used to taking more than giving. Or another example, your woman was not loved enough in childhood. She was rarely hugged, kissed, and treated quite harshly. As a result, she grew up quite a closed person with a low level of tactility. It's hard for her to talk about her feelings. And if you try to break her and demand constant hugs and kisses from her, then you are unlikely to achieve your goal. She is as she is. She has a quite low level of tactility. She is closed in terms of showing feelings. Yes, an experienced psychologist can help such a woman open up. But still, her level of energy will be at a quite low level. I hope you understand that, often, people become bold not because of some cunning, but simply because you spoil them. Therefore, it is so important to know the measure in everything. And remember the principle of exchange. If you do something for a person, he should give you something in return. Write in the comments if you have ever fully opened up to a woman, spoiled her, did everything for her. How did your communication end? Now share this video with friends, especially with those who are used to making a woman the center of the world. Don't forget to like, and go on to read other videos on my channel. Bye.